best camera for street photography. We have this camera for several years and unfortunately nobody was able to make a better camera. So I want to discuss in this video about my best street camera for street photography, about my second best camera for street photography, and what is the alternative for a camera that is in production now. So let's talk about this now. Hi there, Tudor Matescu here. I've used for street photography many cameras. Sony APS-C cameras, Sony full frame cameras, Micro Four Thirds cameras, Fujifilm cameras, Leica M cameras, Nikon ZF camera, Nikon Z5 camera, and so on. But when I started with Micro Four Thirds cameras. The first camera that I had, it was Lumix GX9, that it had a flip screen, but other than that, beautiful operation. The next camera, it was Olympus OMD EM10 Mark II with 12-100 and the Olympus Primes. And my next Micro Four Thirds camera was Lumix GX9. But the influencers always told me that with a Micro Four Thirds camera you don't have enough depth of field when you want to make a portrait, and also you have problems regarding the noise levels. And this is true, and it was true some time ago, but because of the AI we can get rid of the noise very easily. So this isn't the case when we are talking about noise. So noise, I would say, is not a problem when we are thinking at a Micro Four Thirds camera. So long story short, in general, I'm using my Fujifilm cameras for street photography, but there is always a frustration there that I didn't had with Micro Four Thirds camera. And the frustration is the AF and the lag of the camera. So always I have some lag, always I need to shoot the Fujifilm camera in another way that I've shot Micro Four Thirds camera. So when I've shot a Micro Four Thirds camera, I was shooting it fast. So I was very fast, and I didn't had to pay attention at my hand movement because of the IBIS. Also, I didn't had to pay attention to the AF because the AF is extra good, and next because you have more in depth. The subject was in focus, so very important. So this was always bothering me with Fujifilm cameras. Now regarding full frame cameras, the problem is that in general we don't have a small full frame camera with a tilt screen and with a silent mechanical shutter. So overall, even with full frame cameras, I'm not able to get this experience like shooting a manual focus camera that it will react ultra fast when I need it to react. Very important. The only camera that it's offering me this impression and also this freedom in movement, it is a Ricoh GR camera, Ricoh GR4, Ricoh GR CX. So ultra responsive cameras also in movement. And the next camera that also it's offering me this freedom in movement but with other limitations, it is the Sony a6400, so an APS-C camera. But no other camera, I would say, it's comparing to a Micro Four Thirds camera when it comes to freedom in doing street photography, in freedom of offering you the chance to pick the camera whenever you want and to go with the camera wherever you want, because the package is ultra light. You can make it a little bit bigger, you can make it a little bit lighter, it really depends. And I will also address a second camera that is pairing very well with this camera. So very important, no other camera. But how I said, when making street photography in my first years, I've used two cameras in general. So this camera, Lumix GX9 plus OMD EM10 Mark II at that moment. And with two kids plus wife, I was able to use two cameras with two lenses and make extraordinary street photography in a very crowded places. So it was very easy to me to use two lenses to take care of my kids in the crowds and not to lose them, but also being able to maneuver two cameras with two lenses and get the shots. So my main lenses were 45mm f1.8 plus Olympus 25mm f1.8. So 50mm plus a 90mm or the 20mm Lumix lens or a wider lens. So anyway, indifferently of the lenses that I've put on my both Micro Four Thirds camera, I was able to take both in my camera bag and still have freedom to move and still have freedom to take pictures. And I've always tried to get this with a Fujifilm camera because I've said is not much bigger. Why I can't use two Fujifilm cameras? Well, it seems I can't. At this present day, I am not able to find, with the latest Fujifilm cameras, I would say, a package that will offer me the freedom that a Micro Four Thirds camera is offering me. Yes, the only package that I can use on Fujifilm cameras are older Fujifilm cameras like X100V that is lighter than X106 plus X Pro 3. So a nice package that I've used, but at the limit for my liking, for my use. Again, I like to be light, I like to be fast, and Fujifilm cameras, even if they are doing the job, they aren't as fast as a Micro Four Thirds camera. So anyway, this was staying back in my head, and yesterday I've decided to try again to use my Micro Four Thirds cameras, and I went for a walk with my Olympus OMD M10 Mark IV that I don't have it now on me because it's not in my studio, but I've got great shots. And it's not just about the shots. I've used the camera in vertical mode, half frame mode. I've made all kinds of settings, all kinds of formats, and it was ultra easy to get the shots that I wanted. The lens that I've used with Olympus OMD EM10 Mark IV, it was this little underdog lens, the 12 to 32 Lumix zoom, a must-have zoom for street photography. It also has optical image stabilization in it, and it's ultra small, and it's a manual zoom, so ultra fast to focus it however you want. Very important. So anyway, the pleasure, the lightness of the bag, the reliable package was extraordinary. But Olympus OMD M10 Mark IV, it is my second best camera for street photography because it doesn't have the AF as good as this camera. So this is my best camera for street photography, and this is Lumix GX9. And unfortunately, this isn't in production anymore. But why this is better from my point of view than Olympus? And again, both two cameras are great to be paired together in a two combo setup or to alternate between them depending on what you want. But this is the best because it has much better AF than Olympus OMD M10 Mark IV. So the AF of this, it is better with Lumix lenses plus with Olympus lenses. Olympus OMD M10 Mark IV also, it has some problems regarding the AF, also with Olympus lenses, and very interesting, is focusing very well with Lumix lenses. But I am putting GX9 on the first place because the AF, it is much better. So indifferently of the lens that I'm using with GX9, I have no problems regarding the AF. So no missed shots with GX9. With GX9, it's impossible to miss a shot. Very important with any lens. Of course, AFS, not IAF and stuff like this, but impossible to miss a shot in good light and also in low light. So it is the #1 camera out there because, how I've said, the Micro Four Thirds cameras, the small Micro Four Thirds cameras with good AF, with great image quality, are offering you the freedom to use them however you want, fast and in any condition. Plus you have a tilt screen, plus you have silent mechanical shutter, and you can get ultra close to your subjects and be very fast, take the picture and move on. So this is street photography at another level. You can't do this with a Fujifilm camera that has problem regarding the AF. You really can't do it. To get shots like this, you must use a manual focus camera or a Ricoh camera in zone focusing. You must use zone focusing and manual focus or use a Micro Four Thirds camera. This is the only way to have this freedom, how I've said. Of course, I do agree that Sony, it's a little bit fast and good, but not at the level for this kind of photography, for street photography. Again, I'm referring strictly to street photography. I'm not referring to IAF. I'm not referring to wedding photography. I'm not referring to everyday photography and family photography. No, I'm referring to street photography for getting fast, fleeting moments, for getting interesting street pictures like the master took back in the days with their film manual cameras. But this is the advantage of a Micro Four Thirds camera. Indeed, street photography is not about shallow depth of field, it's about having more in the depth of field. And this is where a Micro Four Thirds camera never disappoints. And this is the best camera out there because this camera has lots of buttons, it has a tilt screen, it has this EVF that is great for sunny weather and so on. Yes, I would say that this car has only one little problem, and this problem is that the EVF is not one of the best EVFs out there, and it is a problem because the Olympus OMD M10 Mark IV, my second best camera for street photography at this level where you want to get the shot, it has a better EVF. So the Olympus OMD M10 Mark IV has better EVF, but not such a good AF. But other than that, you have the half frame options, you have the tilt screen that is working nice, so everything is working nice. Now, can I recommend this camera today? Of course I can recommend it, but for a new user, I think it's hard to justify buying a camera that is so old and also is not in production. If you can find it at a good price, get it, and also in a good condition. Get it because it's one of the best cameras, and I would not go for GX80 because it doesn't have a tilt screen. And why go with an EVF that it's at the same level, I think, as GX9 and a camera without a tilt screen, just to have a GX9? So I would go for Olympus OMD M10 Mark IV as my next camera if you want a tilt screen, even if the AF has a little problems and it's not at this level, but it will do the job. And also I will recommend you some great micro four thirds lenses to get with your Olympus OMD M10 Mark IV. But if you want the successor of GX9, so better AF, better EVF, and the screen that will offer you chances to use it in different angles, then definitely the next camera, the successor of the best street camera that was made, it is Olympus OM3, because Lumix didn't bring to the market GX10. And I don't know how they will bring GX10, if they will bring it, but I do think that Lumix is making a terrible, terrible mistake. This is the hit. This is the best camera out there regarding street photography. I love it so much as my X Pro 3, and always when I'm looking in my Lightroom catalog after years of photography with these cameras, I'm able to see that my best pictures are made with Lumix GX9 and X Pro 3. But this has the advantage of better AF, of a screen that you can use it in any condition, and better build quality because the camera didn't broke on me, and also the ergonomics of the camera, the firmware, and all what you can do with this camera with one hand, it's at another level. But how I've said, is not anymore in production. So the next Micro Four Thirds camera, of course, it is OM3. And again, why Micro Four Thirds? Because of the IBIS, because of the sensor, because of the depth of field, and because of the lenses. Freedom in street photography at the next level. I'm not saying that Fujifilm or other cameras aren't good. They are good, but these cameras are acting, if we want a comparison, like a Ricoh GR regarding how the responsive is camera with interchangeable lenses and without having the AF problem of a Ricoh GR, plus IBIS 10 times better than Ricoh GR and Sony cameras and Fujifilm cameras. The only downside that you pay, it could be image quality regarding the noise level. And let me address also this noise level and image quality, because when I was shooting a camera like this, I was always paying attention to the light. So because you have a little penalty here, this little penalty, it's telling your brain, pay attention to your photography. Don't rely on dynamic range. Don't rely on the f1.4 lenses. Think about photography, think about light. And if you are in this frame of mind, automatically you'll do better photography. So automatically you'll use this camera better than a camera that is offering you latest AF and latest dynamic range, because you'll think about light, and nothing replaces light plus moment plus composition, nothing. So very important, these Micro Four Thirds cameras helped me become a better photographer because I was always thinking about light. And also this is why I have multiple better images with a Micro Four Thirds camera. It is simple as this. Now regarding the lenses, just to pinpoint some lenses, 12 to 32, it really must be in your street photography kit. It's such an amazing lens. Of course, I would have wanted a little bit longer, but the next lens that also it's a must have, it is the 12 to 45 f4 OM lens. It's a pro lens, stellar lens. I've used it for many years and I needed to buy it back, and I will buy it back. Definitely I will buy it back, because when I need more reach, that was the lens. Because on the streets, this is the ideal zoom lens regarding also the size of the lens. So from 24 to 90 millimeters. In these cases, you'll get all the shots. If you want to go further and have better reach, the next must-have lens, if you want great image quality, it is the 12 to 100 f4. So if you are traveling and want to sacrifice a little weight, so it has a size and weight that zoom, but it's ultra stellar, then 12 to 100, no discussion here. No discussion, 12 to 100, it's a must regarding the optical image stabilization and the resolution and the sharpness. It is the best pro zoom that it's out there. Next, the Olympus lenses, the 25 f1.8, the 45 f1.8, also a must in your camera bag. The 20mm f1.4, the magic lens that you must have in your camera bag, and also an ultra wide zoom like 7 to 40mm Lumix f4 zoom or Olympus f2.8 or other zooms that are on the ultra wide end. Also you have some Olympus ultra wide lenses that are out there, and also 70mm f1.7, a must have lens. Now if you want the best image quality and do all kinds of permutations, of course you have these options. You can use the small light lenses plus the premium lenses. Now what I would use in my kit to have the best image quality, it is definitely 20mm f1.4. Don't look at the fact that it's expensive. It's stellar. It's really stellar for what it is. The information in the raw files that you have with that lens, it's unbelievable. What you can do with that lens, it's unbelievable. The portability of that lens for what it can do, it's unbelievable. And also the AF, it's very good. So 20mm f1.4 on Lumix GX9 and on any micro four thirds camera, it's acting extraordinarily good. And the subjects are popping like crazy. You have stellar image quality. You have feather-like bokeh that it's really special, plus the ability to shoot it in low light. Now the next must-have zoom as a pro zoom. Yes, 12 to 45 f4 zoom. It's a must-have. I would not go for 12 to 40 because I do feel it's too short and a little too big for what you win, the f2.8 version. But of course it's a good zoom if you think that you are okay not having that reach. But for street photography, I always felt that 24 to 90 millimeters in general, it is really perfect to cover you. So when you want great image quality and have a lens and you know that it's light out there, OM3 plus 12 to 45 or Olympus OMD-M10 Mark IV plus 12 to 45 or GX9, and another bright prime lens, the 20mm f1.4. This was my premium package, and yes, it was a little bit heavier in my camera bag, but the results, the AF, the reliability of that package was great. And when I wanted to go small, I can use my small prime lenses. So in conclusion, yes, I do think that GX9, it is the best camera for street photography, and if you can find it in good condition, then get it for a good price, of course. And also I was able to see that OMC, it's coming with 12 to 45 f4 zoom, the pro zoom, and that kit zoom 12 to 45 f4, it is half the price if you buy it with the OM3. So I really do think that this is a very good deal, because I'm telling you, for street photography, the only zoom that you need, it is 12 to 45, or I would say it's the foundation zoom, because it will replace all the lenses. And also to have a prime bright lens for very low light street photography, then you can start with 70mm f1.8 or 20mm f1.8, something like this, and you will be totally done. You will not need the 20mm f1.4. But also, if you have the budget, get the 20mm f1.4, or if you want to make street portraits, or if you want to have a prime lens with an f1.4 aperture, that will offer you the chance to make outstanding and incredible street photography. By the way, if you want to make better photos, you must know that it's not about the gear, it's about composition, it's about light, it's about seeing with your eyes and pre-visualizing the picture. So for this, I've recently launched a course with my techniques to get better pictures. So if you want to learn to make better pictures, and especially composition, why not join my Photography Academy? To get access to my course, you must be subscribed to my channel and join my membership Photography Academy level. When you'll have that level, you'll have access to my street photography composition course, where I show you how I am making the pictures and where I teach you how to make the same picture. So I'm telling you why a picture is good and why it's working and why I've decided to keep it in color or to keep it in black. So you learn lots of tips and techniques if you are joining the membership program. And more than that, joining my membership, it means that any premium course that I will launch, you'll have access to it. So join now my TM Photography Academy by subscribing to my channel and hit the join button from YouTube. And one last point to add, another great thing with Micro Four Thirds cameras is that they are unlocking for me long exposure street photography. So yes, I have IBIS on other cameras, but because the IBIS is not at the level of GX9, OM3 and so on, I'm not doing this kind of photography when I'm using other cameras. But because with a Micro Four Thirds camera, I know that I can shoot that camera 1 second without any problems, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds by hand. I am doing that kind of photography. And those pictures, they really have a wow factor. And more than that, the advantage of a Micro Four Thirds camera is that you can shoot it at 1/60 seconds and you'll have a little blur regarding the movement of people if you want that natural blur. And I'm really liking this. They are really looking like a film-like picture. When you edit the picture, you'll have a little blur there. And this is really something. This is adding a more organic look to your pictures. And one last tip, downloading the RAW files from my Olympus compared to the RAW files from my XT50, I was blown away how fast my MacBook and my Lightroom were processing the files. And I was thinking why I am complicating my life with big sensor cameras when I can use the 20 megapixel sensor from a Micro Four Thirds camera. Because again, you may think because of the marketing that you need more resolution. No, you don't need more resolution. You can crop 2x in your Micro Four Thirds camera and you'll still have a good pictures. The half frame pictures that I've showed are 2x crop and you can print them, don't worry, big size. And also if you want to make a huge wall by printing them, you can use software that is helping you print those files. In printing there is another discussion. This is the trick here. It is easier to print a smaller resolution file than is to look at that file on a big screen at 200% magnification. So anyway, this is why I'm saying that the best cameras for street photography, if you want this kind of experience, are still the Micro Four Thirds camera. And it's a shame that Lumix is not releasing Lumix GX9 with the improved sensor, improved AF, improved EVF, and so on. So if you are liking content like this, please subscribe now to my YouTube channel, subscribe to my newsletter for more photography tips and tricks. Also, please use my affiliate links from the comments and description if you want to buy something from the gear that I'm using. And what is free and is helping this channel, it is to watch the next videos. Thank you and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.